What they indicated was there was substantial evidence collected at the home of the ex-boyfriend. They also indicated that based upon that evidence, that Ashley was murdered.
Ashley, a 30-year-old mom from Warren, was last seen Thursday, January 2nd. Her family reported her missing on Friday the 3rd.
This is the story of Ashley Elkins, a vibrant mother of two whose life was anchored by love for her family, only to be torn apart by a past she tried to escape. On January 2nd, 2025, Ashley left her home in Warren, Michigan, never to return. Her last known stop was the apartment of DeAndre Booker, her ex-boyfriend, a man she distanced herself from after a rocky breakup. What unfolded in those final hours? Did Ashley sense the danger closing in? Why did DeAndre become the prime suspect in her disappearance? As investigators dig deeper, chilling clues emerge: cryptic text messages, disturbing online searches, and a timeline that paints a tragic picture. Welcome to True Crime Intel, where we uncover the told and untold true crime stories that will shock you to your core. If you haven't already, like this video and subscribe. You won't believe what we've got coming. Our story unfolds in Warren, Michigan, a lively city nestled in Macomb County, just north of Detroit. As Michigan's third largest city, Warren buzzes with energy, home to hardworking families and tight-knit neighborhoods. But like any community, it faces challenges, with local police working tirelessly to keep the streets safe. It's here, in this bustling suburb, that Ashley Elkins built her life, a life filled with love, creativity, and devotion to her two young sons. Warren's streets, lined with modest homes and local businesses, set the stage for a tragedy that would shake the community to its core. At the heart of this case is a woman whose warmth and strength touched everyone around her, making her loss all the more devastating. A 30-year-old woman whose life radiated warmth and purpose. Raised in Warren, Michigan, alongside her two younger sisters, Ashley grew up in a close-knit family that nurtured her creative spirit. From a young age, she had a flair for hairstyling, her nimble fingers transforming locks into works of art. Her natural talent led her to become a hairstylist, and she poured her heart into building a home-based salon. There, she welcomed friends, family, and loyal clients, treating each like family. Ashley's salon wasn't just a business. It was a sanctuary where her meticulous care and infectious smile made everyone feel at home. Her work reflected her deep love for the people around her, a testament to her generous soul. But above all, Ashley was a devoted mother to her two sons, aged 10 and 7. Those boys were her world, the light that guided her every decision. As a single mom, she faced challenges head-on, ensuring her children grew up in a stable, loving home. Ashley was a constant presence at their school events, cheering at their games and encouraging them to dream big and stay kind. Her role as a mother defined her, shaping her into a pillar of strength and tenderness. Recently, Ashley had taken a bold step forward, landing a job with an online casino agency. She was thrilled about this new chapter, eager to balance her salon work with this opportunity to provide more for her boys. Ashley's life was one of resilience and hope, a story of a woman who built a bright future despite the odds, until that future was stolen. Insert supporting video. In Ashley Elkins' life, one person cast a long shadow, her ex-boyfriend, DeAndre Booker. For about a year they were together, their relationship seeming ordinary at first, filled with moments that suggested a shared future. Ashley's family welcomed DeAndre, inviting him to gatherings where he played basketball with her sons and joined in holiday celebrations. He was there through tough times, like when Ashley's father was murdered in April 2024, offering support that made her family believe he could be the one to stay. But beneath the surface, cracks began to form. By September 2024, Ashley had had enough and ended the relationship, hoping to move on. DeAndre, however, couldn't let go. His behavior turned troubling, morphing into something darker. Ashley's mother, Monica, noticed how he struggled with the breakup, refusing to accept Ashley's decision. He kept reaching out, ignoring her clear efforts to distance herself. His actions grew more unsettling, showing up at her home uninvited, his presence an unwanted echo of a past she wanted to leave behind. Ashley, wary of his jealousy over her male salon clients, even moved her home-based salon to another location to avoid conflict. Friends shared that Ashley often felt watched, a vicinity a stalker. DeAndre's knack for computers added to the unease. He created fake social media profiles and documents, hiding his true self behind a charming facade. The family saw glimpses of this unsettling side, but its depth remained hidden until it was too late. Just days before Ashley's disappearance on December 31st, 2024, DeAndre booked a salon appointment under a false name. When he arrived, Ashley recognized him and refused to open the door, staying silent inside with her family until he left. Monica recalled how Ashley would hide whenever DeAndre appeared unexpectedly, her fear palpable. Despite her efforts to break free, DeAndre's obsessive presence lingered, his actions intensifying in ways no one could have foreseen, setting the stage for a tragedy that would shatter a family. The morning of January 2nd, 2025, began like any other for Ashley Elkins, but it would mark the start of a devastating chain of events. At around 8:30 a.m., Ashley left her Warren, Michigan, home to run errands, dressed in a long black coat with a fur-lined hood and black leggings. She drove off in her gray 2009 Chevy Malibu, a car without license plates, unaware that she would never return. 10 minutes later, her mother, Monica Elkins, arrived at Ashley's house. At 9:06 a.m., Monica sent a text.
When I got to her house, it was 8:40. She left at 8:30. I went in the house for a minute, came back out. I texted her I had a dream of her car being stolen. And she replied back, "Oh man," which is weird to me. So I FaceTimed her. She didn't answer. So I said to her, just be mindful about your surroundings and, pay attention to where you're going. And she didn't call back. That's not like her. And she never called back. And she never texts back.
Hours later, a family member received a text from Ashley's phone saying she was heading to a beauty supply store. But soon after, her phone went silent, a chilling sign for a woman who always stayed connected. Ashley's family grew frantic, knowing her devotion to her two sons and her constant contact with them, especially Monica. Their worry was amplified by DeAndre Booker's recent behavior. Just 2 days earlier, on December 31st, 2024, he had tried to trick Ashley with a fake salon appointment, knocking on her door while she hid inside. Phone records later revealed Ashley's last known location: DeAndre's apartment in the 20,900 block of Pinehurst Street, Roseville, Michigan. What happened there remains unclear, but police and family suspected foul play. Monica and Ashley's uncle, Maurice Morton, spent the day trying to reach her, their calls and messages unanswered. Maurice later said Ashley would never ignore her mother or leave her boys without a word, her silence a glaring red flag. By January 3rd, 2025, the family's fear drove them to report Ashley missing to the Warren Police Department, desperate for answers in a case already clouded by suspicion. As January 2nd, 2025 wore on, Ashley Elkins' family grew increasingly desperate. Her mother, Monica, and uncle, Maurice Morton, kept trying to reach her, but every call and message went unanswered, a stark contrast to Ashley's usual responsiveness. Maurice couldn't shake the feeling that something was terribly wrong, knowing Ashley's deep bond with her two sons, aged 10 and 7. She loved her boys and her mom too much to just vanish, he later said, his voice heavy with conviction. Ashley would never leave her children without a word, making her silence a piercing alarm. The family's fears were heightened by DeAndre Booker's recent actions, especially his deceptive attempt to see Ashley just 2 days earlier. His unsettling presence loomed large in their minds, fueling suspicion. By January 3rd, unable to bear the uncertainty any longer, the family turned to the Warren Police Department, officially reporting Ashley missing. Maurice pleaded for help, frustrated by what he felt was a slow response. "It's been 3 days," he said, his words raw with anguish. "They're taking too long. "We need help finding her." The family urged the community to keep sharing Ashley's story, hoping someone, somewhere, might hold the key to bringing her home. The investigation into Ashley Elkins' disappearance launched with urgency as police pieced together her final movements. Early on, authorities discovered that Ashley's phone had last pinged near the apartment of her ex-boyfriend, DeAndre Booker, in Roseville, Michigan. This critical clue led detectives from both Warren and Roseville to his residence at the Hampton Court Apartments, hoping to find answers. But the apartment was empty. Neither Ashley nor DeAndre was there, leaving investigators with more questions than leads. The case took a significant turn on January 7, 2025, when police located Ashley's gray Chevy Malibu, abandoned roughly 2 miles from DeAndre's home, near 13 Mile Road in Little Mac Avenue in Roseville. The discovery of her car, left without license plates, heightened suspicions of foul play. That same evening, law enforcement executed a search warrant at DeAndre's apartment, combing through every corner for evidence. What they found was chilling. Substantial clues, including items recovered from a nearby trash dumpster, pointed to a violent crime having taken place inside the apartment. The weight of this evidence shifted the investigation's focus squarely onto DeAndre, confirming the family's fears that Ashley's disappearance was no accident. Police now faced the daunting task of unraveling what had happened in those critical hours after Ashley's last known contact. The investigation into Ashley Elkins' disappearance reached a turning point on January 8, 2025, when DeAndre Booker, her ex-boyfriend, was apprehended in Flint, Michigan. Police had tracked him down after evidence from his Roseville apartment pointed to a grim reality. Ashley was likely murdered. DeAndre was initially charged with lying to police during a violent crime investigation, a serious offense that underscored his attempts to mislead authorities about his involvement. The arrest sent shockwaves through Warren, confirming the family's worst fears about the man Ashley had once trusted. That evening, news outlets broke the story, delivering a heartbreaking update to the community. Reporters detailed how Ashley, a 30-year-old mother of 2, had vanished after leaving her home on January 2nd, with no trace of her since. They revealed that police had found significant evidence in DeAndre's apartment, leading to his custody, and the chilling conclusion that Ashley's life had been taken. The family was summoned to the Roseville Police Department, where officers shared the devastating news based on the evidence uncovered. Monica Elkins, Ashley's mother, faced reporters with tears in her eyes, grappling with the unbearable truth that her daughter was gone. The community mourned alongside her, stunned by the loss of a woman known for her warmth and devotion. DeAndre's arrest marked a critical step in the quest for justice, but it also deepened the family's grief, leaving them to confront the reality of a future without Ashley. As DeAndre Booker sat in custody, the evidence against him painted a damning picture. While on the run in Flint, Michigan, he had turned to the internet, leaving a trail of incriminating searches that betrayed his guilt. He looked up fastest routes from Flint to Ohio, as if planning to flee, and what to do on the run, revealing a mind preoccupied with escape. More chilling were his queries about, is blood traceable, and how to beat a polygraph, suggesting an attempt to cover his tracks. He even searched deleting Google history, a futile effort to erase his digital footprints. These searches, uncovered by police, solidified their suspicion that DeAndre was deeply involved in Ashley Elkins' disappearance. On January 9, 2025, he faced a courtroom in Roseville charged with lying to a police officer during a violent crime investigation, a felony carrying up to 4 years in prison. Assistant Prosecutor Steve Fox laid out a compelling case.
Thank you. Good morning, Your Honor. Obviously, we're here on a 4-year felony for lying to a peace officer on a violent crime investigation. This is, of course, as Your Honor is aware, involving Ms. Elkins. And the court is to consider MCR 6.106F and MCL 765.6, a number of factors. I'm going to hit on a few if you don't mind. The first is the protection of the public. The underlying matter, although not the charge specifically, but the underlying matter obviously involves a crime of violence, potentially. We are still seeking Ms. Elkins. The defendant, we suspect and believe, may know where she is. And a concern is her safety if, God forbid, the worst has not happened yet. So with respect to that, Judge, I believe that there is a risk to the public, specifically if she were still alive, and that's what we're all hoping for, of course. The other is the defendant's risk of non-appearance and the likelihood of conviction. Likelihood of conviction, Judge, the defendant made several material factual misstatements to Detective Lasprance and recited those to the court during the course of the initial swear-to. The defendant was aware that we were investigating a missing persons report. He was aware that there was some belief of his involvement. He made misstatements about both his location as well as Ms. Elkins and how she may have left his vehicle, left his apartment complex, all of which we can demonstrate by objective evidence and video evidence to be false. So there's a high likelihood of conviction on these cases, on these matters. And then last and most importantly for the court's consideration, I think at this point, is the probability or improbability of returning for trial. We have a history that includes charges at least. We do not have the disposition, but we did recover DD-214 from his time in the U.S. Army. It looks like in 2016 he was charged with a couple of matters, including larceny of private property, and more importantly, fraudulent ID documents. And then in 2017, he was charged with desertion or the absence without leave, going AWOL from the Army. Ultimately, he was discharged less than honorably, although it was not a dishonorable discharge. He was discharged from the Army in a less than honorable means or manner. We know that after the conversations, before the conversations with Detective Lasprance, but we believe after the underlying events of this case, he fled from Macomb County, went to Flint, where he was apprehended and brought back to Roseville. And we know that during that time, while he was in Flint, he accessed the internet to search for such things as fastest routes from Flint to Ohio, what to do on the run, is blood traceable, how to beat a polygraph, and deleting Google history. So Judge, I think by his own words and search history, by his prior conduct, and by what is frankly at stake in this particular matter, he's of significant risk of flight. With that, I would request a significant bond. I'm asking for a $500,000 cash surety bond, no 10%, and that a steel cuff GPS tether be attached should he make that bond.
All right, Mr. King, anything further from you?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Detective Lasprance, is there anything you wish to add?
No, ma'am, not this time.
All right. As Mr. Fox indicated, there are many things the court has to look to with regard to setting bond and determining bond. This court looks most closely at the risk of harm to the public and the likelihood of the defendant's appearance in court. I will note for the record that this matter is currently charged as a 4-year felony. I will also note for the matter that while Mr. Fox did point out several instances from the defendant's time in the military with regard to any sort of matters that came up with regard to larceny or desertion, that there is no other criminal history presented. But that being said, the matter being investigated does involve a missing person, which is a very serious matter. And the court takes very seriously that the allegations being made are that the defendant is lying to a police officer regarding material facts about a missing person at this time. That gives the court great concern about the risk of harm to the public and the likelihood that the defendant will make sure that he appears in court for both this matter and any potential further charges that may be brought by the prosecution. At this time, the court is going to assess a bond in the amount of $250,000 cash surety, steel cuff test.
Detailing how DeAndre had repeatedly fed false information to investigators, claiming he hadn't seen Ashley and misstating his own whereabouts. Video evidence contradicted his lies, showing his statements were not just mistaken, but deliberately misleading. Fox also pointed to DeAndre's past, noting his less than honorable discharge from the U.S. Army after charges of desertion and fraudulent ID documents in 2016 and 2017. This history, coupled with his flight to Flint, raised fears he might disappear again if released. Prosecutors requested a $500,000 bond, but the judge set it at $250,000 with a GPS tether, a decision that would later spark frustration among Ashley's family. The evidence from DeAndre's own actions to the clues left in his apartment pointed to a man desperate to hide a terrible truth, leaving little doubt about his role in the tragedy that stole Ashley's life. The weight of Ashley Elkins' loss crashed over her family like a tidal wave after DeAndre Booker's arraignment on January 9, 2025. Monica Elkins, Ashley's mother, stood before reporters, her voice trembling with grief as she faced the unbearable truth. Her daughter was likely gone forever. The pain of telling Ashley's two young sons, aged 10 and 7, that their mother wouldn't come home was a wound too deep for words. Monica's heart broke not just for her own loss, but for the boys who had lost their guiding light. She spoke with raw frustration about the court's decision to set DeAndre's bond at $250,000, far less than the $500,000 prosecutors had demanded. "I wanted no bond at all," she said, her words heavy with anger. "He should go straight to prison and never get out." The idea that DeAndre could walk free, even temporarily, felt like a betrayal of Ashley's memory. Now the family's focus turned to Ashley's boys, ensuring they'd grow up surrounded by love despite their unimaginable loss. Monica vowed to seek justice, determined to honor her daughter's memory while navigating a long, painful road to healing. As of January 10th, 2025, the search for Ashley Elkins' body pressed on, a grueling effort that carried the weight of a family's hope for closure.
And now we turn to Macomb County, where a desperate search is continuing for a missing mother of two. We're looking at new video from Lenox Township, multiple agencies spending a second day at Pine Tree Acres Landfill with a special focus on a 6-acre area. No one has heard from or seen 30-year-old Ashley Elkins since January the 2nd. Her loved ones have been reaching out to us, heartbroken and hoping to get help.
Ashley's ex-boyfriend has been charged in connection with this case. 7 News Detroit reporter Randy Wimbley has been following every development and joins us now with the latest.
Investigators did not find what they were looking for during their search today, but they still have ground to cover.
We're getting close. We're getting close. Like I said, a lot of movement today.
That's the message from Roseville Police Chief Mitch Berlin on day 2 of the search at the Pine Tree Acres landfill in Lenox Township. More than a dozen departments and 50 officers are working to find evidence in the disappearance of Ashley Elkins.
I think it's moving in the right direction, and we're going to continue to our targeted area.
That targeted area is a certain depth below ground. Investigators are using a pair of bulldozers to push away layer after layer of soil and debris on the 6.5-acre plot at the landfill. After each pass, a team of officers follow behind the bulldozers, searching the grounds to find Elkins' remains or evidence of them.
So it's a lot of work, labor intensive. But we're up for the task, and we got a lot of great officers here from a lot of great departments that are working hard. Not one complaint up there. Everybody's just hitting and getting it done.
Investigators are also putting a pair of cadaver dogs to work in their search at the landfill. The K9s are good to have on board, but could be thrown off course.
There's other flesh in there. There's meat scraps. There's a lot of different things that you have to get through to find the remains that you're looking for.
We talked with retired Detroit Police Homicide Lieutenant and Oakland County Cold Case Investigator Bill Peterson about the case. He has decades of experience and says the fact police have already whittled down their search area is crucial.
If they've narrowed it down that much, then they've got a bit of a head start to finding what they need. Narrowing that search area down as much as possible, and then starting to search and search and search and search without giving up easily. Matter of persistence.
Meanwhile, Elkins' ex-boyfriend DeAndre Booker has been identified as the prime suspect in her disappearance. He's been charged with lying to police at the onset of the investigation and is behind bars on a $250,000 bond. Those charges could be enhanced based on what investigators find here.
The tragedy of Ashley Elkins' disappearance is a stark reminder of the insidious dangers of domestic violence, a scourge that left a vibrant woman living in fear within her own home. Ashley's story lays bare the failures, whether through negligence, miscommunication, or missed warnings, that allowed her ex-boyfriend's obsession to escalate unchecked. To think she hid in silence, afraid of DeAndre Booker's uninvited visits, is a heartbreak that resonates far beyond Warren, Michigan. Her loss ripples through her family and friends, leaving them with unanswered questions and the aching truth that this could have been prevented. The impact of this tragedy will linger, a constant shadow over those who loved her, forever altering their lives. Yet Ashley's memory shines through the darkness. She was a woman of boundless light, her infectious smile capable of brightening any room. Friends and family cherished her resilience, her unwavering loyalty, and her gift for bringing people together in love and unity. As a mother and hairstylist, Ashley poured her heart into everything she did, always the first to offer a helping hand or a kind word. Her sense of humor and optimism found joy in the small moments, cooking meals for her sons, sharing laughs with friends, or sending encouraging messages to lift someone's spirits. In Warren's close-knit community, Ashley was a familiar face, joining local events and supporting causes that strengthened neighborhood bonds. Her deep faith, rooted in her family's church, gave her solace and strength, a foundation that guided her through life's challenges. Now her family vows to carry forward her legacy, raising her two boys with the same love and care she embodied. Ashley's story is a call to action, urging us to recognize the signs of domestic violence, stalking, control, jealousy, and to protect those at risk before it's too late. Her life, though cut short, remains a testament to the power of love and community, a light that will never fade. Ashley Elkins' story is one of love, resilience, and a life stolen too soon. A devoted mother and talented hairstylist, she poured her heart into her two sons in her Warren, Michigan community, only to be taken by a past she couldn't escape. Though her body remains unfound, the ongoing search at Pine Tree Acres Landfill carries the hope of closure for her grieving family. Ashley's mother, Monica, and her loved ones stand united, seeking justice for a woman whose light touched so many. This tragedy, rooted in domestic violence, should never have happened. It's a sobering reminder to stay vigilant, to heed the warning signs of control and obsession before they turn deadly. Ashley's legacy lives on through her sons, who her family will raise with the love she gave so freely. Her story demands we keep her memory alive, sharing her truth to protect others from similar fates. If you have any information, contact the Warren Police Department. Thank you for joining us on True Crime Intel. Share your thoughts in the comments, subscribe to the channel, and help us honor Ashley Elkins, a beautiful soul taken far too soon. To her family and friends, our hearts are with you. May you find comfort and peace in time.